It is spring and it's almost summer. You know what that means? Baseball season.
Ooh.
Our American pastime.
Cleveland Guardians.
You know who digs the long ball?
I can only imagine.
Chicks.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Dig the long ball.
Nice setup. Look at that.
It's also spring and it's also almost summer for our favorite species, the ruffed grouse. Brooding habitat. You know who digs brooding habitat? Chicks dig brooding habitat.
Should have known. Should have known. Yeah.
Ruffed grouse, brooding habitat and ecology. What it is, why it's important. This is kind of it's not a serious video, but it's, we will mention it when you're talking about any species, really. A drumming grouse gets the most attention, a goblin turkey, a big rutting buck. But who does the majority of the work for a localized population and, of course, bigger picture of the species? The mamas and the babies, and what determine population success.
Yeah. So brooding habitat, like what is it? We hear this word all the time. We expect people to know what that is.
Right.
So let's start at the beginning. Like what is it? Why is it important? So brooding habitat, look at it this way. It's like Cody mentioned in other videos and stuff like that, these grouse chicks are they're very small. Woodcock,
Chicken
same
nuggets.
thing, very tiny. Turkey poults, same thing. Quail, you know, your upland and forest species, those chicks are small.
Yeah.
So bare soil or low leaf litter, okay? And just like an umbrella, something that they can navigate through that has a ceiling.
Right.
That's basically what brooding habitat is, where there's insects, they can bug, they can forage. And the biggest thing, we always have to remember, why is brooding habitat so important? And we'll break this down. But like in the turkey world, nest predation's huge. But it's brooding habitat, and it's no different than for the ruffed grouse. Close to like 40-45% avian predation. And then it's mammalian. You know, it's big, it's mostly raptors, crows, etc., are just dive bombing. Thunderhawks are coming down and just ripping families apart, right? So no, that's why it's important. Brooding habitat, try to get bare soil and umbrella type species of plants, okay, so they can navigate through.
It's a pretty cool visual to visualize brooding habitat. Eric described it very, very well. Again, we got to keep in mind these baby birds, they're very small. You mentioned bare soil or very light leaf litter. They have to be able to navigate the space. If they're getting tripped over thick cool season grasses or a lot of branches or a lot of debris across the forest floor, they're not going to be able to navigate that space.
Be left behind.
They'll get left behind, they'll get abandoned, or you know, they'll struggle to keep up with mom and then get picked off by predators. The umbrella plants, again, as Eric mentioned, avian predators are the #1 predator for ruffed grouse, from chicks to adult grouse. An umbrella plant, I think, is a perfect term to describe that native plant community, because again, keep in mind that a chick is this big, and then umbrella plants, protection from death from above. And those native plants, our native plants host infinitely more insects and bug life than non-native invasive species. When you're a chick, whether it's a turkey poult or a grouse chick or any other of those ground nesting birds, when you're a baby, your #1 food source for the first several weeks of life until you develop those wing feathers and that ability to fly are going to be insects, because they're high in protein, they're energy rich, they're going to help you develop those flight feathers, and nothing hosts and attracts native insects more than native plants.
Yeah, and Cody mentioned something I was going to say. You might look in your woods and you go, well, I have that. Yeah, I got some autumn olive, I got this, I got that, you know, it's an umbrella. No, native, because of what Cody was saying. Native attracts more of the beneficial seeds, bugs, etc., and it goes on. So always think native. Remember, this is about a ruffed grouse. It is about turkey poults, woodcock chicks, etc. But it's about having a healthy forest ecology, ecosystem, excuse me. So think native. So how do we achieve brooding habitat in your woods? It's just you and your chainsaw. How do I? Well, I want to do that. How do I do that? And why? And do I go in there and just destroy woods? I mean, how do I do that, Cody?
How do we do that? Step number one, let's get rid of all the invasive species. When we're thinking about brooding habitat for grouse chicks or turkey poults, the biggest limiting factor is going to be Japanese stiltgrass. Let's get rid of the Japanese stiltgrass. Let's spend a year doing that best we can to really set that back. Because again, if you're a chick and you're trying to navigate stiltgrass that could be 6 inches tall, now by the end of summer it could be a foot or more, you're not going to make it very long. Let's eliminate the best we can, as much stiltgrass as we can, and then it kind of goes back to forest management. Let's open some canopy, let some sunlight hit the forest floor, then we'll get that herbaceous native plant response. With a clean forest floor with bare soil, because we remove the stiltgrass, we get, there's so many cool, and I'm just looking at my property, cool native forest forbs and flowers. Wing stem, snake root, black cohosh, woodland sunflower that check those boxes, the many species of ferns that allow those chicks to navigate the space with protection from above from umbrella plants while hosting all those insects that they need to consume those first few weeks of their life.
Yeah, and having it flow. That's one thing. You can do this project on your own. You can create brooding habitat on your own, or you can do the large scale with, you know, with logging company and etc. But for the weekend warrior going out there trying to do what's right, and again, it's about grouse, but it's more about your forest ecosystem, letting that sunlight hit the forest floor, blah blah blah. The biggest thing is having it flow, because you got to imagine you're a chick, you have some great brooding habitat. Well, mama's leaving, you're exposed. So that next type of brooding habitat should not be that far away.
Yeah.
Think deer, I mean, you're already kind of doing it for the deer guys. You're already going in and letting that sunlight hit the forest floor. You're having an eruption. But the one thing that's different is you're putting grouse goggles on, and you're going in there and controlling the invasives, so you do have that clean runway with that umbrella. So have that next section very close. So that's the biggest difference between the deer and a ruffed grouse or woodcock or what have you. It's just have it flow so they can go from one thing to the other without dying.
Right. I think brooding habitat is pretty cool. I like the visual of little chicks scooting about the forest floor with umbrella plants, protecting them from death from above. I think it's a cool visual. It's really not all that difficult to create, but unfortunately on landscape scale, it's what's lacking. And not to diminish any hen on a nest, but that's just step one. And if we're honest, that's kind of the easy part. And
don't take that out of context.
Don't take that out of context. Getting the little baby birds out of the egg is just step one. It's getting them out of the egg to their first fall, and when they can disperse, that's what's really limiting ground nesting bird population success. Research shows that even for turkeys, a lack of brooding habitat is what can contribute to a decline in population. For ruffed grouse, and this is a staggering statistic, but basically one chick, if the hen has a clutch of 10, one will see its first fall.
Is that bad?
Odds are not great.
That's good.
And part of that's just nature. That's how God intended it to be. But if we can create good brooding habitat, and we can have it, as Eric said, constructed intentionally in a patchwork design across our property, instead of maybe just one chick making it to its first fall and its following spring, maybe we can bump that up to 2 or 3 or 4. It goes without saying, best case scenario is they all make it, but that's unrealistic expectation.
That's not nature.
That's not how nature works. No. But brooding habitat, it's important because, as we mentioned in the beginning, brooding habitat and ecology, it is what determines population success for the species, big picture scale, and then on your property for localized populations. If those chicks don't make it, then you're not going to have the birds, and that's just the fact of the matter.
Basically, there's just to wrap it up with all that. That was well said. It's just, there's all these steps. Oh, I got to fight invasives, and now you're telling me I got to create brooding habitat. All of it is so simple. It really is. Some friends with chainsaws go out there, let sunlight hit the forest floor, control the invasives. We're going to beat that to the point where you're annoyed by it. And just stand back and just watch life happen before your eyes. And when you do see that ruffed grouse or any forest creature, whether it's fawns or turkey poults, you see that, the feeling that you will have knowing that you did it is well worth it, and you'll keep doing it.